With ChatGPT 4.1 just released and GPT-5 supposedly dropping in a couple of months, a lot of people are asking, which platform should I focus on? Should you jump to Gemini or stick with ChatGPT and then switch to GPT-5 when it launches? In this video, I'm gonna compare the two models, their features, user experience, and quirks, and we'll see which one might be right for you, Google or OpenAI. Now, GPT-5 isn't out yet, but we have plenty of hints about what it will be like. The main theme seems to be simplifying the user experience. Even the naming system is supposed to get an overhaul. No more endless model selectors. Sam Altman hinted on X, how about we fix our model naming by this summer? And the only real way to do that is to unite everything into a single model. Over time, OpenAI ended up with a bunch of different AI versions. Look at GPT-4, you've got different modes, different versions for coding or writing, plus experimental models like O3 or O1 for reasoning. It gets confusing. The plan for GPT-5 is to bundle all these improvements into one super-powered model. In Sam Altman's words, GPT-5 will integrate a lot of our technology, including O3, instead of rolling them out as standalone models. That's the real game changer with the GPT-5. It's going to be the most advanced, most capable single model on the market. Every feature, from logical reasoning to image creation, should get a major upgrade. When you think about what GPT-5 might look like, one of the simplest ways to guess is by checking out the models OpenAI has already released. Just recently, they dropped GPT 4.1, which is a big step up from the older models, most notably because it has 1 million token context window. In plain English, that means ChatGPT can handle around 750,000 words in a single conversation. The model itself gets smarter too, especially when it comes to coding, writing, and problem solving. But it's not perfect. There is still no memory function, no canvas feature, and no built-in image generation. Now let's not ignore the good old GPT 4.0. That's the one GPT-5 is going to replace eventually. GPT 4.0 isn't necessarily the best at coding or writing creatively, but it's a real all-rounder. Can do just about anything, work with loads of file formats, search the web, handle audio and images, and even learn how to generate images recently. That new image generator is insane. It can produce images with precise text, solid consistency, and you can even spot edit directly. It's a great addition to an already versatile model. GPT 4.0 is multimodal. You all know that. I've told you about that many times, and a few days ago, we posted a post where we showed a couple unexpected ways to use these multimodal models, like creating storyboards for your videos or movies. Here's a prompt too. And we also explained how to prompt AI to create branded content that you can already use and make money off of it. Speaking of older releases, a few weeks before GPT 4.1, we got GPT 4.5. That version is geared more toward creative writing and is super resource intensive. It's more like a small upgrade over 4.0 than a brand new model. And while it does write a bit better than 4.0, the difference isn't huge. OpenAI calls GPT 4.5 our largest, best model for chat yet, with a bigger knowledge base and improved understanding of user requests. And just like 4.1, it's basically a stepping stone on the path to GPT-5. And with tools like ChatGPT-5 in the way, that's where a well-structured online course can make a difference. Coursera offers a range of AI programs, including focus classes on generative AI and prompt engineering. They are designed to move beyond theory and dive into hands-on practice. Take Google Prompting Essentials, for instance. It covers key topics like how to craft better prompts for AI models, add ethical guidelines, and handle data responsibly. Each module has step-by-step exercises, which is crucial for learning AI by doing, not just by reading. What sets Coursera apart is the balance of depth and accessibility. The attached screenshots of course layouts hint at a clean, organized structure, helpful if you are juggling a job, school, or other responsibilities. Instead of wading through random tutorials, you can follow a clear path that starts with the basics and gradually introduces more advanced AI automation concepts. Plus, Coursera's self-paced format means you can adapt the learning to your schedule. If you only have a few minutes in the evening, you can chip away at lessons incrementally. Meanwhile, for anyone keen on keeping up with the latest AI conversations, whether it's about ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or how companies are using machine learning, the courses seem to offer both an up-to-date curriculum and a practical skill set. And people seem to love this course. I skimmed it and it's pretty solid. And right now, there's a limited time offer of 40% off for 3 months that I urge you to take advantage of. Now it is time to advance your career with AI. Explore Coursera's top AI courses. The link is in the description. Gemini really does have all the same features ChatGPT offers, just built right in. Unlike simpler chatbots, Gemini 2.5 is a thinking model, meaning it goes through its own internal reasoning process before giving you an answer. That makes it great for complex stuff like riddles, tough concepts, or writing clean, correct code. Gemini 2.5 is also natively multimodal, which is just a fancy word of saying it can handle different kinds of input, not just text. You can throw a paragraph at it, or a picture, or even audio, and it will work with all of those. In fact, it's designed to process text, audio, images, and video as input. Compare that to ChatGPT, which still can't do videos at all. And its support for audio and files is kind of all over the place. Just like GPT 4.1, Gemini can deal with up to 1 million tokens. That means you can paste in huge documents or have very long chats without forgetting what you said earlier. And the best part is, Google says this is only the beginning. They plan to double that context window soon, which would put them even further ahead of OpenAI. From my experience, Gemini 2.5 is speedy and thorough, usually spits out answers pretty quickly and often gives a lot of detail, sometimes more than you actually wanted. For instance, if you ask for a summary of a long article, Gemini might go all out and include extra background info. That can be good or bad depending on what you need. It's not perfect though. Every once in a while, it might misunderstand you or give an answer that's a bit too generic. But honestly, it doesn't happen any more often than it does with ChatGPT. One word: limits. That's what links these two platforms. But they tackle those limits in totally different ways. One of the most surprising moves is that Google made Gemini 2.5 Pro free for everyone with some strings attached. You get up to 50 messages a day at no cost, which is pretty generous for a model this advanced. ChatGPT's limitations go in another direction because there are so many versions, each has its own restrictions. If you're using the free plan, you only get 10 messages with GPT 4.0 every 3 hours and just 3 image generations per day. Reasoning is also quite limited, plus subscription unlocks GPT 4.5 around 50 messages a week, 50 image generations, and 80 GPT 4.0 messages in 3 hours. You also get O3 and O1 models, but with their own caps. And let's face it, a lot of people won't drop $200 on the Pro tier, so in terms of free usage, Gemini clearly comes out on top. And what about GPT-5? How will you get to use it? OpenAI plans to offer GPT-5 to free users as well, just at a standard intelligence level. Paid subscribers, Plus and Pro, will run GPT-5 at higher performance settings. It's a tiered system of intelligence, essentially. The biggest difference in day-to-day use is the app. Gemini is basically web-only. Yes, Google integrated it into the Google app on iOS and Android recently, but that's a stripped-down version with fewer controls. So Gemini mainly lives on its website, which, while handy, doesn't offer many options for customization. You can't set custom instructions like you can in ChatGPT, and you don't get a strong voice mode or advanced vision features. ChatGPT really shines here. Its mobile app is top-notch, replicating almost everything you get on the web, except maybe Canvas mode. It handles writing, image generation, custom instructions, coding, and more. The vision feature is awesome. Just point your camera at something and ChatGPT can identify it or grab text. The voice mode feels futuristic, practically no delay, very natural speech, and always on hand. It's perfect for when you're out and about, and with GPT-5 coming, it will only improve faster, more reliable, packed with new features. ChatGPT is a clear winner in terms of convenience. Even the web version of ChatGPT stands out, with lots of customization, countless features, and a bunch of handy buttons. We recently put out a guide to all the new stuff you might have missed, so definitely check that out. Honestly, comparing Gemini and GPT-5 for everyday tasks like writing, summarizing, editing, or reformatting text feels almost pointless. The current GPT models already excel at this, and GPT-5 will only improve. Gemini is just as good, though you might need to tweak your approach a bit. Routine prompts like rewrite this paragraph in simpler terms or explain these sales figures to a newbie aren't even challenging for AI. Ask them to polish an email and both will do it equally well. At least we know the GPT-5 will be at least as good as what we have today, probably better, so gives us a clear reference point. Beyond plain text tasks, both models handle coding requests just fine. You can ask them to write code, debug stuff, add comments, the works. Even I, not being a developer, can see how amazing AI-powered coding is. Both ChatGPT and Gemini 2.5 shine even with bigger coding tasks, thanks to their ability to accept entire code bases or logs. So for general everyday needs, there likely won't be a huge difference between GPT-5 and Gemini 2.5. Right now, ChatGPT and thus GPT-5 down the line and Gemini all integrate with other services in various ways. Gemini can link into Google Docs or Drive if you let it, so you can import large PDFs or spreadsheets. ChatGPT uses its plugin system to work with platforms like Slack or Trello for automating tasks. Web access is another handy feature to compare. ChatGPT can browse if you enable it or ask specifically, but Gemini browses by default. That means it references current data quicker, scanning fresh articles and official sites right away. GPT, on the other hand, might rely on its training data unless you switch it to a browsing model. Ideally, GPT-5 will update its knowledge cutoff date to at least January 2025, matching Gemini, and turn on web search by default. Because GPT-5 will build on existing features, it will definitely have Canvas from the get-go. Canvas is already super useful. Instead of typing a giant prompt and waiting, you see your document visually. GPT's Canvas looks like a side-by-side layout. Gemini's more full screen. You can highlight a sentence and say, rewrite this to sound more convincing, and it will only adjust that chunk. Gemini's Canvas mode lets you import files, place them in the workspace, and then say, fix the grammar in paragraph 2 or shorten the intro, and it will update those specific lines while keeping the layout. You can even export back to Google Docs if you've connected your account, which is handy if you often open, edit, and store things in the cloud. If you only need quick edits, both systems are perfectly fine. Gemini can handle large or multiple files in one spot, but ChatGPT's Canvas has a few extra control options. Ultimately, it boils down to convenience. My pick is ChatGPT, but hey, use whatever works best for you. Like I mentioned, GPT 4o now generates images natively, no more relying on a separate DALL-E model. You just say what you want and it pops out an image in the same conversation. It handles both simple and very detailed prompts well. You can spot edit the images or completely regenerate them. You can also upload your own images, tweak them, and the built-in memory is a huge help here. On Gemini's side, 2.5's image generator uses Google's Imagen, which is similar but feels less advanced. It's more like the older DALL-E rather than the new generator. It still works fine and the results are decent. All the usual prompt tricks like being super detailed or adding reference images work on Gemini too, and when GPT-5 arrives, I don't expect big changes in this area. Overall, both GPT and Gemini allow multi-turn image edits, and both can do advanced manipulation if you give the right instructions. GPT-5 might offer better resolution controls or layering in the future, but for now, GPT 4o's native image generator and Gemini's 2.5's Imagen are pretty much neck and neck for everyday use, though ChatGPT definitely wins on flexibility and text generation. A big selling point for GPT-5 will be context, likely extending beyond the 1 million token window in GPT 4.1. As for reasoning, ChatGPT and Gemini 2.5 both handle logic well, but in slightly different ways. Each ChatGPT model is tuned for something specific, so their problem-solving approaches vary. GPT 4.1 is made to store massive text inputs, ideal for really long data sets or math questions, can digest all that information at once and then solve it. GPT 4.5 2.5 feels smoother in conversation and explains answers in a friendlier way with a bit more behind-the-scenes thinking. Meanwhile, the O1 and O3 models are the real heavyweights for reasoning, and their code will definitely be rolled into GPT-5 soon. Gemini 2.5 has a single unified reasoning approach that breaks questions down step by step, called chain of thought reasoning. If you ask, here's some code I wrote, can you find the bug? Gemini loads the entire code and then points out likely errors. Its reasoning is strong, on par with O3 from what I've seen, and it also takes a bit of time to respond, similar to ChatGPT. So if GPT-5 manages to get faster or more accurate, that will definitely be a win in my book. What I love about AI is that once you learn the basics, you can use nearly any tool right away. Prompt and tips don't change much, they might get simpler, but the core ideas stay the same. That means the tips we use for Gemini 2.5 today will pretty much work for GPT-5 when it launches. For starters, be clear and specific in your questions. Both Gemini and GPT-5 will do their best to interpret your requests, but a clear prompt always gets a better answer. If you need something specific, spell it out. Rather than a simple prompt like write a text about, you could say, give me a 3-paragraph article about X in simple terms. That way, both AIs know exactly what you're aiming for. With Gemini, clarity helps avoid too much extra info. With GPT, it helps ensure you get what you want on the first try. Remember to play to AI's strengths. Gemini 2.5 is awesome at detailed breakdowns and stays more up to date. If you have a really specific or complicated job, its thoroughness can be a big plus. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is great at creative writing and clear explanations. So if you need something explained in a more relatable way, or you want creative essay or story, ChatGPT can deliver a more polished result. Don't be shy about using one to check the other, like Gemini gets too dense, ask ChatGPT to simplify it, and vice versa. And context, use that. One of Gemini's big perks is its longer memory. It can handle a huge amount of text at once. If you're analyzing a lengthy article or even an entire book, you can drop large chunks, maybe a chapter at a time, and discuss them. You could try a whole book in one shot. Although it can still be a bit glitchy, Gemini tends to keep track of previous content more reliably that way. GPT 4.1 can match Gemini's context window, but with Gemini's next update, it might jump ahead again. Meanwhile, with ChatGPT, you often have to break lengthy inputs into smaller parts, while Gemini can handle bigger inputs more smoothly. Both AIs are super flexible. You can tell them, explain this like I'm 5, or use a funny tone, or give me bullet points, and they will usually follow your style request. GPT models are known for mirroring any style you specify. Gemini can also do this, although it sometimes sticks to neutral, informative tone by default. Don't be afraid to say exactly how you want the answer formatted. If you're relying on AI info for something important, like research, it's always smart to ask for sources or double-check the facts yourself. You can prompt with something like, could you provide references for these points? But honestly, I just switch both models into deep research mode. Gemini has a separate model for that. ChatGPT has a toggle button. It will return more data and do some fact-checking on its own. Practically speaking, keep in mind these chats are stored on servers. If you're concerned about privacy, avoid giving the AI too many personal or sensitive details. Use temporary chats in ChatGPT when you need to, and remember to clear any sensitive data from the conversation logs. When it comes to AI, it's less about finding the best AI and more about finding your best fit and learn how to make the most of it. Whether you go with Gemini or ChatGPT, if you know how generative AI works and how to prompt effectively, you will be fine. Right now, Gemini is an all-round powerhouse. It's mostly free, handles giant documents, supports multiple types of input, text, images, audio, and delivers thorough answers without a lot of hassle. GPT-5, on the other hand, is expected to roll all of OpenAI's top tech into one supercharged model, bringing in advanced reasoning and image generation in a more seamless setup. The question is whether you should wait a couple of months for GPT-5 or just start using Gemini or GPT-4 right away. My advice, dive in now. Pick the model that suits your tasks, because once you really understand AI, switching from tool to tool is easy. And if you want to level up your AI skills, check out our generative AI course at Geek Academy. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.